Here's tonight, TD Waterhouse Global Challenge, the Goalie Challenge, brought to you by TD Waterhouse, the global online financial service, and Martin Brodeur, 22 shots, 19 saves. Garth Snow, 20 shots, 18 saves, and it is the Islanders with the lead after 2 periods of play. Welcome back to the Continental Airlines Arena. The Commissioner Gary Bettman has joined us for this special edition, if you will, of Matt and the Maven. And Commissioner, it's always good to see you. And you know, the season is not that far into the new year, but your thoughts on what we've seen in the early going?
I think we're off to a good start. The games have been very entertaining. Teams that on paper looked one way aren't necessarily materializing on the ice that way. Some good, some bad. I think we're in for a terrific regular season. Last year and the year before, we didn't know till after the last game of the regular season was played what the playoff matchups would be. And there are a lot of teams last year that wish they had games back in October and November. And I think what you're seeing on the ice, including tonight, is some real good hockey.
It is my pleasure to turn things over to the Maven. I'm just going to sit back and watch you two go to work, because it's always entertaining, it's always informative, it's always fun.
He ad-libbed for about 10 minutes before we went on. I mean, you're in great form, but for a serious... I
probably used up all my good stuff.
A serious moment. Yeah. How has the league adjusted since the September 11th calamity, or has it had to?
Based on the terrible tragedy and the terrible loss that so many people have suffered, I'll put everything that we're dealing with as an inconvenience. That puts aside that we lost Mark Bavis and Ace Bailey, the 2 scouts from the Kings who were on the Boston to LA flight. Logistically, security, travel, we're dealing with it, we're doing okay, and they're inconveniences. They're not worth even complaining about or discussing because so many others have lost so much.
Well, in the area of complaints, I'm not complaining, but you had a press conference and you disputed, if that's the right word, or you questioned the Islanders' contract with Alexei Yash, and you said something like, you wouldn't have done that if you were the one, something like that.
Now, listen to me. Either you don't know what I said.
I had the transcript. No, I had the transcript.
Then pull it out and let's read it. Or you're mischaracterizing what I said. I was asked, did I think the contract, the 10-year contract, was a good thing or a bad thing? And my response was, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why they went out 10 years, but it was their decision, it was their money, and time would tell if they were right. I also said, if I were an Islander fan, I'd love it because it shows a real commitment by the owners, and that's a good thing for the Islanders.
Now, the Islanders, some people in the Islanders' high command took issue with the fact that it seemed like you criticized them.
No, I spoke to Charles Wang. He actually, when he had the full transcript of what I said, which I know his PR director gave him, he was perfectly comfortable with what I said, and even when asked about it publicly said he was.
He plays ping pong better than you. It's
I like it.
It's not ping pong. It's the facts thing.
Okay.
I'm taking notes for future editions. What changes are you most looking forward to in terms of the recommendations that were made at the beginning of the season?
Well, I think what you're referring to is the Dave Dryden Committee, and Stan and I were talking about that before we went on the air. Their mandate wasn't to talk about improving the game, it was talking about the environment and how to make it safer for the players, how to reduce injuries, how we can improve the ice, what could be done with the dashboards and the glass, making sure that the equipment is the right equipment, whether or not we need rule changes to better protect the players. What the Dryden Committee concluded in its first year was, A, there's no easy answer. It's probably 50 or 60 little things you could do. And 2, we need to continue to gather data to make sure we know what we're doing. I mean, a few years ago, I asked the board to have all the boards that were seamless glass to have check flex where the boards moved. Well, they all spent the money and did it, and it may have helped a little. It wasn't enough. What we need to do is really study and get the data and try and make good decisions. It's a work in progress, but it's something that we're committed to doing. While injuries aren't increasing, we want to bring them down and make sure that our best players are on the ice every night, not injured.
You know, we love the game as it is now, and we're using the same philosophy that you are. We're going to have a regular think tank forum over the season with writers from out of town and our own writers, and at the end of the season, we're going to send you the proposals, and we would just like you to digest them and give us a response. How do you feel about that?
That would be my pleasure. Doesn't mean I'll agree with them. Doesn't mean they'll all be well-founded. Doesn't mean they all won't be emotional, but some of them may be good, and we can always learn. So if you've got some good proposals for us, we'd love to see them.
And it's a pleasure talking to you. My father used to say, my pleasure is pinochle.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. You helped me. I'll have to help you during the commercial break because I've been trying to figure them out for years.